I love that part. I love that exasperated, exhausted outro. Only Morgan. How's it going, everybody? The Queen is dead. The Queen is dead. The Queen is dead. And no one cares. Hello, and how's it going? Good riddance. Good riddance to bad rubbish is what I says. Good riddance to bad rubbish. That Queen has been needing to die. Well, Amelia told me that they're not allowing like the BBC won't play any comedy programming for 2 weeks because the Queen died. Can you imagine that shit? Like like the president dies or something, and then like every channel is like, no more funny. You must mourn. Enforced mourning period of 2 weeks. It's like, oh geez. I've often said that I think that one of the many things that needs to happen in this country is that like news needs to be regulated so that so that we're not dealing with what we're dealing with now, which is just a bunch of opinion pieces and rush to the post before you've got the fucking information kind of shit. But having everything under the banner of the government, probably not a good idea, because you end up with shit like that. Like, no one can laugh. There can be no laughter. You see Biden's a word for the BBC. The BBC, I'm Irish. What? Dude, I don't know. I don't catch any of these fucking things anymore, to be honest with you. I am so distant from the news most days that you wouldn't believe it. She was a nice queen. How do you know that? How do you know that? Maybe she was a bitch. You ever meet her? You ever meet the Queen? How and why is Joe Biden in office? Because apparently better choice than Trump, I mean, that's just something that, like, it's a very trite observation or whatever, but man, when are we going to stop electing dumb old fucks? As an American, I have an inherent disdain for royalty. Anyway, love to you and your lovely wife. Buy D treats with my money. Will do. Get him a new squeaker or something. Or something tasty. Some bacon bits, some bacon strips. She would never meet with filth like us, yeah. Isn't George Bush younger today than Joe Biden? Yes. Like George W. Bush is ancient and already he served before a lot of you were fucking old enough to even know who the president was. And he's younger than Joe Biden is. Like when, dude? When are we going to stop electing ignoramuses and old people and party whores? I know the answer to that. It's a rhetorical question. Never, but wait till we break that 90-plus-year-old president barrier. I mean, fuck, dude. We're right on the edge of it now, ain't we? What's your favorite thing that Joe Biden has said? I don't know. I don't know, Jack. Good old medocracy. We live in a medocracy. Oh, yeah, that one is pretty good. I got hairy legs, Jack. And the hairs turn blonde in the sun. And the kids, they used to swim over to me. I like to rub their hands up and down my legs and then watch the little hairs pop up. Actually, like, an American president said that on the campaign trail. You know, like that's where we're at. I know about roaches. I know about roaches, Jack. I know about having kids on my lap, Jack. Corn Pop was going to cut me with a rusty razor, but I had the pool chain. Yeah, that story is fucking phenomenal, man. Unbelievable. There is that one, too, where he's like, there's one word that defines America. He's just like, that's a good one. I got to give that one to him. That's a pretty decent one. There's one word that defines America. It's just, you gotta. What the fuck? You know the thing. Yeah, there's so many good ones to choose from. When's the last, like, think about that. I guess Barack Obama, because he was well spoken and mentally present. Say what you want about it. He was still a fucking total oligarch piece of shit. But, you know, he could speak. He said very little stupid shit in comparison to like George W. Bush, Trump, Biden. Bird Gravus. Oh, wait. That was the other doddering old man. Yeah. Dog-faced pony soldier. Yeah. Obama. Yeah. He's one of the smart ones. You know what I mean, Jack? One of the eloquent, well-spoken ones. Wink, wink. You know what I'm talking about. Who has better flubs, pointless stories, Biden or Bush? Biden's definitely got the pointless stories on lock. But Bush had some bangers, man. Let me see if I can find us a video of Bushisms, because a lot of you kids, man, you just don't know. Bushisms. Top 10. Yeah. The best Bushisms is 7 minutes of Bushisms. Oh, yeah, we got to do this. This is going to be great. We got to go for this. Yeah, some of these are unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Yeah, food on your family. America is a place where wings take dream. This motherfucker, like, you gotta understand, you know. Biden's got a large hill to climb because this motherfucker was a capital D dunce. You know, life was simpler back when he was a president, and I think that has caused people to remember him better than he was. This guy was a motherfucking dunce. He's not even all that lovable. See, that's the thing. He's reinvented himself as a lovable, doddering old man, but he's a fucking war criminal, a psycho, like a weird Christian dominionist. You know, nothing funny about that. Let's take ourselves, and I'm going to put the chat up just so I can see you guys too. Let's see. There we go. Let's take ourselves a little trip down memory lane, folks. We'll have ourselves a little look, just a little look at George W. Bush, quite possibly the most mush-mouthed, stupid president we've ever had. And look, Biden is president now, so that's saying a lot. Let's take a listen here, shall we?
If you're a single mother with 2 children, which is the toughest job in America as far as I'm concerned, and you're working hard to put food on your family.
you know, and I know what you might think. Oh, yeah, it's just a little slip of the tongue, but there's 7 minutes of this, you know? There's 7 minutes of this. So it wasn't like this was constant. Pretty much every fucking type. Every time this dude was in front of a camera, it was this. Nuclear. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look.
Those who think that they can say we're only going to have a stimulus package, but let's forget tax relief, underestimate.
Oh my God, dude. The fucking press room was laughing at him because he just made up a nonsense word. You know what I mean? And then look at this sheepish look on his face. It's like, yeah, I'm dumb. I'm dumb as fuck. I'm dumber than shit. You miss him. You only miss him because shit has gotten so much worse since him. But that wasn't his, you know, like you can't give him that. That wasn't his fault. He can't claim that. You know what I mean? It's just that everything has gotten so much fucking shittier. The economy has crashed like 14 times since this dude was here. You know what I mean? You used to be able to buy a house when this guy was in fucking office, you know? And nothing to do with him. In fact, he had more to do with the fact that you can't buy a house now than the fact that you could buy a house then. Let's put it that way. I miss him because I was like 10 years old when he was on office. Well, yeah, of course. You know what I mean? I was in my 20s when this guy was in office. So it's very easy to look back at that time and, you know, with anything other than rose-colored glasses. But make no bones about it. This guy was, in my opinion, the worst president of all time. If you just look pound for pound at what happened on his watch and the wars still raging on in a lot of places that he got us involved in, and the economic downturns that have happened as a result of his tax slashing, you know, the Republican Party just kind of like he basically is responsible for the single largest expansion of executive power in American history. Before this guy, if you wanted to drop bombs on a place, both the House and the Senate had to sign off on it, and you had to pass a war resolution. This was the guy that made it so that the president can pick up the phone and bomb anything he wants and not tell anybody about it until afterwards. Yeah. Well, a lot of that sort of thing, and a lot of the ill that went on during his presidency, you could lay at the feet of Dick Cheney. But you know, that doesn't end Bush's culpability. He was a useful idiot. So let's listen to some more of these.
Just making sure you were paying attention.
Smooth move, X-Lax. Yeah, good recovery from that. You do. There's people That laugh in the back when he said that is the most evil, like the most evil laugh ever. Listen to it.
Just making sure you were paying attention.
You're a fucking idiot. Oh, man.
You were.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
See what I mean? See what I mean? This is the type of shit that would slip out of his fucking mouth every time somebody put a microphone in front of it. I know that human beings and fish can coexist peacefully. This, you know what I mean? Vice, oh, dude, let's take a quick second here and let me tell you, like, I tried to watch that fucking Vice movie and the narration, I can't deal. I hate, it's not that I hate narration in movies. I hate movies that use narration as constant exposition because they can't figure out a way to show you. Like that whole movie, I watched with Amelia probably like 20, 30 minutes of it or something, and they were still narrating shit. I couldn't hang, dude. I cannot fucking hang. I really, really hate narration when it's used as just rank exposition. And this one was just a floating narrator, too. It wasn't like Dick Cheney going like, you know, I didn't always have it easy. You know what I mean? It's just some guy like Dick Cheney was the, you know, blah, 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 vice president of the United States. And, you know, he had some problems when he was younger. You know, it's just like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't need you to tell me that. It just feels so hand-holdy and lame. At the end, he speaks to the camera. So, yeah, that I don't mind. I really don't mind narrators. It's just when they're used properly as something that facilitates the movie and not something that explains something that could be showed. You know, that's what I'm into. Anyway, fuck that stupid movie. It sucks. Let's more Bushisms. Come on.
Responses have got to end in order for us to get the framework, the groundwork to discuss a framework for peace, to lay that. All right.
What? Hold on. He just gave up. Oh, man. I would love to hear a transcription of this. This has got to be one of the most incoherent sentences.
Human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Let's listen to this whole thing.
Responses have got to end in order for us to get the framework, the groundwork to discuss a framework for peace, to lay that. All right.
Oh, boy. He just literally gives up on the sentence. And you know what? Biden does this too. Biden will just abort a sentence. You know what I mean? I've seen him do it a couple of times. Please clap.
We are not at war with Muslims. We don't have a beef with Muslims. We want to be friends with Muslims and Muslim children. We're fighting evil people. It's important for the boys and girls of Thurgood Marshall to know that we're fighting evil with good. And one way to fight evil with good is you can help by writing letters to boys and girls your age.
The kids are just like, huh? Huh? I am alive, yes. How's it going, buddy?
And so, in my State of the Union, or my speech to the nation, whatever you want to call it.
See what I mean? Does he not look drunk? It looks like he was hitting the tipple before he came out and did this speech. Am I wrong? No, this is So he said, what drugs do you think he's on? Dude, just straight up drink. Like, I know a drunk when I see one. Let me listen to this again. Because he's almost clearly drunk here.
It's your age. And so, in my state of the union, or my speech to the nation, whatever you want to call it, speech to the nation.
Everybody laughing at him and this stupid sheepish grin on his face because he thinks he told a good joke. They're laughing at you, not with you, sir. This dude was elected twice. Can't believe this wasn't the worst we've ever had. I mean, in my opinion, he was, but it's debatable for sure. Yeah, he's just straight out drunk. Yeah, the red flushed cheeks. This dude had a date with Johnny Walker Black before he came out on stage, dude. I know a whiskey drunk when I fucking see one. This is a whiskey drunk. What did you think about Will Ferrell's Bush impersonation? Did he play it dumb enough? It was pretty good, but yeah, there's really no way that you can parody somebody like this. You almost can't go dumb enough. The rascal face, yeah. Like, yeah, dude, look at it. He's got all the broken blood vessels on his nose. He looks like somebody just like... Looks like his old Italian aunt just like pinched his cheeks because she hadn't seen him in 10 years right before he came on stage. You know what I mean? He's been hitting the fucking bottle. I know a drunk when I sees one.
I asked Americans to give 4,000 hours over the rest of your life.
Oh my fucking God, bro. I asked Americans to give $4,000 for over the rest of your life, and everybody's just like, our president is a drunken buffoon. Our president is a drunken buffoon.
To give 4,000 hours over the rest of your life of service to America. That's what I asked. I said, 4,000 hours. There's an old...
He finally landed on 4,000 hours. 4,000 years, $4,000 over the rest next to your life. Oh, yeah, dude. He's riding the night train, dude. He's riding a night train, and he's hoping that the engineer doesn't come around because he don't have a ticket. You know? Bush is like that stammering kid. Did you ever dream? Did you ever, have you ever, have you, you know what I mean? That kid, but you know what? That kid had an excuse. He's like 5. You know, this is a grown ass man. Look at this kid back here. I didn't even notice him. This is America. Guns in my area. Don't catch you slipping on. That little kid back there is America during the Bush administration.
Old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Look at the kid. This is literally America. He's beyond lost. He's given up. You know what I mean? He's given up. He can't believe that he's landed here, but he's given up.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Oh my God, man. We're not even halfway into this yet. Hold on tight. Hold on to your assholes, man. This is these are endless.
Our enemies are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.
You had one job, George. You had one job. You just had to provide a noticeable comparison of the American public versus our perceived enemies. You had to, that's all you had to do was make us look good. Yeah. He said the quiet part loud. For sure.
Parents are teaching their children right from wrong, and the message oftentimes gets undermined by the popular culture. You bet there's things the government can do.
Did he say Paul? I think he said Paul. Did you hear that?
Their children right from wrong, and the message oftentimes gets undermined by the popular culture.
He did. He's the popular culture. He even had like a little bit of like a Trumpian moment there.
Oftentimes gets undermined by the popular culture.
This is like a Trump face here. That lip all fucking straining and puckering out there like a big old duck's bill. Dude, yeah, the message gets undermined by the popular culture. Yeah, his vocabulary term for the week was popular culture. They'd been handing him some briefs and some presidential learning materials on what popular culture means, so he could start using it.
Culture. You bet there's things the government can do. We can work with the entertainment industry to provide family hour. We can have filters on internets where public money is spent.
Filters on the internets. Yeah. We need to have filters on internets where public money is spent. I agree, man. I agree. You got to filter those internets. Literal boomer here, by the way.
I hear there's rumors on the internets. On internets where public money is spent. I hear there's rumors on the internets.
This guy has like a full-time fucking speech guy, right? That will like the first few times he said internets, you know he was canceled every time. Mr. President, there was one thing about your speech, just a minor thing people probably didn't notice. It's not internets. It's one thing. So it's internet, sir. It's one big thing. Think about it as a big net, okay, that covers the whole planet, but it's one net. It's not multiple nets. You get me, sir? Oh, yeah. Internet. Got it. Then 10 minutes later, he's out here. I hear there's rumors on the internets. Money well spent hiring him somebody to help him with that, huh?
We can have filters on internets where public money is spent. I hear there's rumors on the internets that we're going to have a draft. We're not going to have a draft, period.
We got an issue in America. Too many good docs are getting out of business. Too many OBGYNs aren't able to practice their love with women all across this country.
Huh? See, his brain, like here's what happened. Like this may not play, like let's watch it one more time and I'll tell you exactly what happened here.
That we're going to have a draft. We're not going to have a draft, period.
We got an issue in America. Too many good docs are getting out of business. Too many OBGYNs aren't able to practice their love with women all across this country.
So the only thing that George W. Bush knows about the OBGYN is that's the doctor that gets to looking a pussy. So to him, he's like, pussy. making love. Like, he can't, like, that's why that slip up happened, is because the only thing he thinks of when he hears the word OBGYN, it never gets past the 12-year-old boy level. That's the doctor what specializes at looking at pussy. Practicing their love on women all over the world. Them doctors probably get laid a lot, don't you think? Because the pussy's right there. Oh, yeah, that's the doctor that gets to diddle and fiddle with pussy for a living. Goddamn, man, I went into the wrong business. Yeah, I mean, he did say OBGYN and not obgyn like Trump or Biden probably would. I don't even know if Trump or Biden could get through saying OBGYN. You know, that's a pretty complex collection of, glottal sounds and shit that you got to make to do that. I don't think either one of them could do it. Maybe Trump after heavy coaching and heavy medication, but I don't know.
The good news is, and it's hard for some to see it now, that out of this chaos is going to come a fantastic Gulf Coast, like it was before. Out of the rubbles of Trent Lott's house, his had lost his entire house, there's going to be a fantastic house.
So this is him talking in the wake of Katrina. And Trent Lott was a football quarterback. I don't remember who he played for, but he's a fucking multimillionaire, right? And so here, this is George Bush trying to be relatable to the people all around the world that were watching as poor people drowned in the streets in New Orleans. And the example that this fucking blue blood fucking Texas oil motherfucker can come up with is poor Trent Lott lost his whole house. I love him. He's just such a rich rascal.
The good news is, and it's hard for some to see it now, that out of this chaos is going to come a fantastic Gulf Coast, like it was before. Out of the rubbles of Trent Lott's house, his had lost his entire house, there's going to be a fantastic house. Again, I want to thank you all and Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job.
God bless America.
Okay, so Brownie, I can't remember what his name was, but it was something, his last name was Brown. And he was some family friend of the Bushes who George W. Bush had appointed to be the leader of FEMA. And if I remember correctly, Brownie was like a horse trainer, basically. He's like one of those rich dudes that has like a bunch of horses. That was his experience. And the guy literally couldn't have done a worse job with Katrina. The FEMA response to Katrina was, I don't know, like inadequate to the umpteenth fucking degree. And that even seems charitable. Michael Brown, yeah, there it is. And in the midst of this dude, who, by the way, Katrina happened, he shouldn't be standing over the president's shoulder. This guy should be hunched over a desk, coordinating multiple teams of search and rescue people, coordinating multiple teams of food and freshwater distribution people, coordinating multiple teams of, like, military response people. And he's just standing there looking like a fucking deer in the headlights while this dude praises him.
I want to thank you all and Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job.
See what I mean? Yeah, here's, you guys remember Pope Palpatine? This is the most evil Pope in our timeline so far. Pope Palpatine. I miss him, man. Wasn't it better when, like, the Catholic Church was run by somebody who looks like they own a giant opulent fucking pedophile ring? You know what I mean? Child sex trafficking ring. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I prefer that. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh yeah, that's the evil empire. Of course, Palpatine's at the head of it. You know what I mean? They're not advertising anything that they're not at that point. You know.
God bless America.
Thank you, Your Holiness. Awesome speech.
And finally, the people in Louisiana must know that all across our country there's a lot of prayer. Prayer for those whose lives have been turned upside down. And I'm one of them.
Oh my God, dude. He wanted to do some dribbling. He wanted to do a little dribbling and ended up just dribbling down the front of his tie. Oh my goodness. Look at these pity handshakes here from Shaq. Who's that there? Is that Kevin Garnett? I can't tell who this is. That's Shaq, though, for sure. It's wild to see people downplay societal collapse from climate change when we got to see how Katrina went down. Glad you're streaming again. I mean, yeah, dude. That's the sad, kind of truth of it, is that most people exist in this little world where they think that type of thing will never touch them. And included a lot of people in New Orleans. Dude, New Orleans had that happen in my lifetime, and still to this day, people are just so fucking nonchalant, laissez fucking faire. Oh, there's a big Cat 5 hurricane coming. I guess I'm going to have to close the shutters on the windows then. You know what I mean? I got a 6-pack on ice. That's all I need right there. I ain't going, you know what I mean? So, yeah, but when it does hit, those people are going, help! I didn't know.
And one of the things that I've used on the Google is to pull up maps.
Sir, can I, the Google, it implies that Google is one of possibly many Googles. And I understand, that's the way that you think of it probably, but sir, it's just Google. Okay? So when you talk about Google, you'd say, I use Google, not I use the Google. You should check that out on the Google. And that's wrong, sir. You should check that out on Google. You see?
These are big achievements for this country, and the people of Bulgaria ought to be proud of the achievements that they have achieved.
Yeah, I know. No, dude, Kane, I was not fucking joking. And you're from the area, so you know that I wasn't. People prepare for it like it's a party. Like they'll go and they'll buy a bunch of fucking liquor and beer and wine and a bunch of food. And they'll just, they'll prepare for it like it's a big old fucking la de da, a little tete-a-tete, you know? Yep. Jugs of vodka, Cheese Whiz, fucking flaming hot Cheetos. It's fucking crazy. And that's in the area that was drowned by fucking Katrina. Those are people that, like, if they've been in the area, they probably lived through that shit. Or know somebody who lived through that shit or didn't live through that shit. Whatever, you know. Que sera, sera is what my daddy used to say down here on the bayou. My daddy sure the fuck never got himself up out of his house when a big old when a hurricane was coming. So why I'm gonna do that? Why I'm gonna do that when my daddy didn't do that? How am I gonna do that when my daddy ain't gonna do that? Fuck the South, dude. Fuck the South. Cut it loose. Anyway, let's hear some more Bushisms.
Another problem is proliferation. There are areas we can work together. And
I am impressed. I'm impressed he got through the word proliferation. I got to start that one over because I don't.
Google is to pull up maps. These are big achievements
for this country, and the people of Bulgaria ought to be proud of the achievements that they have achieved. Another problem is proliferation. There are areas we can work together, and he brought an interesting proposal. He said, I have an idea. Why don't we jointly use a radar in Azerbaijan to help deal with a potential threat? Governor,
just that one's not really a Bushism. That one's just straight up just nonsense. Just a nonsense sentence. Oh my God. Just this is what I'm talking about, man. Dribbling idiots as our leaders. Drooling idiots as our leaders. But I am impressed that he was able to say the word proliferation, because it has more than 2 syllables in it, That's a big bad what? Proliferation. It's like 4 or 5 syllables worth of shit there, man. That's crazy.
Governor, thank you very much. I am here to make an announcement that this Thursday, ticket counters and airplanes will fly out of Ronald Reagan Airport.
Ticket counters and airplanes are going to fly out of the airport?
But here's a dreamer. Man had an idea. He didn't like the way the cotton shirts that he wore absorbed, his bodily fluids when he exercised, so he came up with a better product.
All right, Grandpa. You know what I mean? And it's the same shit, dude. It's the like, and well, I don't know if it's the same shit, honestly. I don't know if Bush was ever any like sharper than this in his life. It's gonna lay it off on him getting old or whatever, but honestly, I don't think he's really all that old here. He's what, in his 50s? Got no excuse,
Last night, Jeb and I had some crabs with members of the 1972 Miami Dolphins, Dan Marino and his really dynamic wife, TV stars, Andy Garcia.
So he's just like bragging about how awesome his life is. Like, yeah, man, I don't know what you've been up to, but I've been eating charity dinners with the 1972 Dolphins. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody look up how tall he was. Somebody do an internet search and put it in there, because I don't know. I want to say he's pretty average, like 5'10", 5'11", something like that. I don't think he was short. Maybe I'm wrong about that, though. Yeah, he's 6 foot tall.
It's just a fact. I met an onion grower today at the airport when I arrived, and he said, you got to help me find people that'll pull onions.
We call those farmers, sir. We call those farmers. Yeah, I know that despite your fucking slack-jawed yokel south of the border fucking accent, you've never fucking lifted a finger in your life, so you don't really know where your food comes from. You've never, stopped to think about it. But we call those people farmers, not onion growers. What the fuck? America's such a joke. We just continuously end up with literal fucking idiot leaders, and people think they actually have a say in who gets picked. Yeah, we always get doofuses. I know, dude. I'm right there with you.
Pluck them or whatever you do with them,
Sir, you don't. There are complex machines that farmers use nowadays to harvest and process the onion, sir. And even if they were doing it by hand, they would not call it plucking. You don't pluck an onion from, like you pluck an apple from a tree, sir. Onions grow under the ground, sir. Oh. Whatever happened to the cream of the crop? The cream has gone fucking rancid. That's what happened to it. The cream has been baking in the ever hotter sun. And I'd say about fucking 30 to 40 years ago, generously, that shit started to go bad. Started to turn into cottage cheese. And now it's reeking to high heaven.
Just seems like I was here yesterday. I was.
Somebody's been tippling again. You can tell. That is such a fucking bar joke. Tell me you could not see just a besotted drunk wandering into his favorite bar, sitting down next to his buddies and going like, "See, seems like I was sitting here yesterday. I was." Dude, that's something I never realized while he was president. I just thought he was, you know, it never crossed my mind that he might be drunk. Oh yeah, dude, you know he pounded back a couple of fucking Bud Lights right before this. Dude, he was at the Applebee's happy hour and he got that fucking $8 pitcher. You know what I mean? You guys have Bud Light on tap? I'll take that.
I was. Kind of. I think.
What?
Tide turning, see, as I remember, I was raised in the desert, but tides kind of it's easy to see a tide turn.
Sir, when people say the turn of the tide, they're not actually talking. This is a metaphor, sir. And what it means is that the tide of a conflict will change. So you will see things heading one way, and then the tide turns, and you'll see it heading another way. It's not something that's meant to evoke an actual tide. It's just it's a very, how do I put this? It's an interesting way, sir, to describe the balance of power shifting. Do you understand? This yokel he can't, or from what I understand. Now, you know, I was raised in the desert, but you know, from what I understand, it's very easy to see a tide turn. Like when the tide turns, everybody goes, "Oh, look, there goes the tide turning." I don't know these things, but from what I've heard from people who have seen a tide, when that tide turns, it's easy to see when it does. You know, is what I'm saying. Come on now.
Did I say those words?
That is, I mean, I don't know if he was responding to a part of the question, but if that is just him asking out loud, if he just said, "Did I say those words?" You know, like, I really hope that contextually there was something in the question that led into this that was accusing him of saying, you know, this, that, or the other thing. And so that's part of that we're just missing the context for, because if that was literally him asking out loud, if he just said what he just said, he was back at the fucking Applebee's happy hour, man. $2 Mai Tais from 5 to 6. It's a great deal. I just tell them, keep them coming.
Kinda. I think tide turning, see, as I remember, I was raised in the desert, but tides kind of it's easy to see a tide turn. Did I say those words? I couldn't imagine somebody like Osama bin Laden understanding the joy of Hanukkah.
I can't imagine somebody like Osama bin Laden understanding the joy of Hanukkah. Yeah, dude. You can tell here. He seems like he needs a little pep. He needs a little nose candy at this point in the day or something, man. He is out of it here. He just off and on some other fucking planet over here.
I couldn't imagine somebody like Osama bin Laden understanding the joy of Hanukkah.
The joy of Hanukkah.
People say, how can I help on this war against terror? How can I fight evil? You can do so by mentoring a child.
What? I mean, I guess broadly I can get it, but what? See, this was another thing too that like I know that like he wasn't the first president to use the term evil. I'm sure if you go back and look at presidential speeches and shit, the word evil had been invoked many times before George W. Bush. But I can almost guarantee you he said it more than any other president. He like normalized the like referring to pretty much anybody who was a geopolitical threat as evil. You know what I mean? Which I fucking hate that word. I hate the word evil. It's just reductive and pointless, and it tells you absolutely nothing about the actual attributes of the person or organization that you're describing. Yeah, he created, the axis of evil and just put a bunch of countries on it that like, there are Muslims over here. People that don't like America over there, put them on the axis of evil. You know what I mean?
By going into a shut-in's house and say, I love you.
Going into a shut-in's house and say, I love you. Huh? That's how you fight terrorism? I'll be damned.
This society of ours is going to change one heart, one soul, one conscience at a time, because thousands of our fellow citizens are loving a neighbor just like they'd like to be loved themselves. Most of the new jobs in America are created by the small business sector.
Drunk. Most of the jobs in America are created by the small business sector.
Our entrepreneurs are doing well. We got the best workforce in America, in the world.
We here in America got the best workforce in America. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch, man.
It was not always a given that the United States and America would have a close relationship. After all, 60 years we were at war. Now, there may be some tough times here in America, but this country's gone through tough times before, and we're going to do it again. This is an
I mean, yeah, sir, you know what? It is true that America has probably got some tough times coming, but we really would rather you didn't evoke that thought. You know what I mean? Because it makes them think like you're the president and you're going to bring the tough. You understand, sir? It's bad optics, sir. It's bad optics.
Extraordinary year. When you think about it, in the first month of a new year, there will be an election in the Palestinian territory, and there will be an election in Iraq. Who could have possibly envisioned an election in Iraq at this?
That's the worst. Sir, we understand that this happens. Sometimes a word sounds similar to another word, and it can come sneaking out when you're talking extemporaneously, but that's literally the worst one, sir. Erection and election is really the worst one, sir. You really got to work on that. The president of the United States should never say the word erection publicly, sir.
This is an extraordinary year. When you think about it, in the first month of a new year, there will be an election in the Palestinian territory, and there will be an election in Iraq. Who could have possibly envisioned an election in Iraq at this point in history?
Twice. Not once, but twice. I can envision an erection right now. Oh, yeah. That Muslim feller over there, I can tell he's got an erection coming up. Oh, yeah. See it in his eyes. Boners. Boners, boners, boners. Boners and vaginas. That's what I think about. That's what's really on my mind when I'm up here pretending to be the leader of the free world. Big, veiny boners. Big old hairy pussies. I'm a simple man. All right? I like pee-pees and I like buttholes. All right? Farts. That's what I'm talking about. Cold Bud Light down at the Applebee's during happy hour. I live for that shit, man. That's what I love.
Appreciation for different aspects of our relationship.
A very quick follow-up,
Thank you all very much. No, you may not.
Thank you, sir.
Just where's the fucking organ grinder monkey? Can somebody please help this fucking idiot? And you know he was probably told 90 times before this started, sir, you're going to exit the way you came in. You're going to exit right here to your left, sir. Okay, just the same way you're going to walk out, you just walk right back this way.
I was trying to escape. It didn't work. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
From one dog to another. Thank you, Ann Primpal. Appreciate it. I think that's the last one. What a boner. What a boner. That's our boner right there. It's the good old Bush boner. Yeah, they really should have had like a calliope on deck every fucking second of the Bush presidency, for sure. I didn't hear where wings take dream, dude. Did I miss it? Where wings take dream. How is that not on the list, man? Best of the Bushisms. Maybe it's on this. This was a shorter one. We'll skip through these and see if there's any that we missed. Because I feel like that was just a selection there. So let's see. This one I know we've seen.
American Morning.
Shut up.
Enemies are innovative and resourceful.
Yeah, this is the evil one. Oh, this one, I don't remember this one.
The United States and America would have a close relationship.
The United States and America. I don't think anybody thought that the United States and America would have a close relationship.
It was not always a given that the United States and America would have a close relationship.
I mean, yeah. My friend here, the president of America. And I'm the president of the USA, you see? And that's the way it works. That is not Shinzo Abe. I can't remember this guy's name, but yeah, it's not Shinzo.
These are big achievements for this country, and the people of Bulgaria ought to be proud of the achievements that they have achieved.
I mean, he's got a fucking fourth grader's vocabulary. That sounds like something that you would read in the worst fourth grade book report in any random class in the Midwest in America or in the South. You just randomly pull from the worst book reports in America, and that sentence is probably in it.
A fine host for the OPEC summit. I appreciate APEC summit.
God bless America.
Thank you, Rolling. That's awesome speech. The fact that
That's an awesome speech right there that you gave, Your Holiness. I mean, that one's almost kind of endearing. It's stupid and unstatesmanlike. But, you know, that's why people fucking, they go, oh, that Bush. That's why Bush was elected. I remember it was a big deal during both of his elections. This whole, like, who would you have a beer with? Who would you have a beer with? Well, I guess I'd have a beer with George W. Bush. Looks like he's had a few tonight. He got my vote. Because the guy that I'm sitting down guzzling beer with knows how to run a country. You know what I mean? But, like, then he would say shit like, you know, the biggest tragedy in this whole Katrina thing is Trent Lott lost his house. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you what, he's going to have another beautiful house just like it. I just know that.
If they purchased the machine, meant somebody had to make the machine. And so when somebody makes a machine, it means there's jobs at the machine-making place. I remember meeting a...
Sir, we call this a factory. The machine-making place, the term for that is a factory. Yes. So you wouldn't say, if somebody, let's give an example. If you were giving a speech tomorrow about the automotive industry, you would not say that you visited the car making place. You would say, I visited the car factory. And can you imagine, dude? The machine making place? What's a factor? Man, I don't like that word, man. Factory. I went down to the burrito making place and got myself lunch. And then I was thinking, while I was sitting there eating my burrito that the little burrito making place lady gave to me, I was like, I wonder how many onion growers, I wonder how many onion pickers are hurting in this country because I love these onions.
The mother of a child who was abducted by the North Koreans right here in the Oval Office. These immigrants have helped transform 13 small colonies into a great and growing nation of more than 300 people. People in Louisiana must know that all across our country there's a lot of prayer. Prayer for those whose lives have been turned upside down. And I'm one of them. Again.
Oh, yeah, because it's real tough. I'm having to make a lot of speeches right now. This is the Brownie. We saw a heck of a job, Brownie.
Good job. The FEMA director's working 24.
Look at this fucking doughy weirdo. Just because he was a friend of the Bushes, had a horse farm, he clearly knows how to coordinate emergency response. You know what I mean? Roll up my shirt sleeves so it looks like I'm out here doing some work. Why couldn't Brownie roll up his shirt sleeves? Oh, yeah. My friend Brownie, I think he'd be good for FEMA director. Oh, yeah? What's he do? He's a horse maker. He's one of them people that makes horses at the horse making place. He's a horse farmer, sir? A horse breeder? Yeah. One of them. He's a horse guy, One of the guys that puts the horses together and brings them to you. So you can ride them around on your ranch, you know what I mean? But not know anything about them.
I said on Friday, this thought took a while to thaw. It's going to take a while to unthaw. We got an issue in America.
Took a while to thaw. It's going to take a while to unthaw. Sir, that's called freezing. We don't say unthaw. We say freezing. It took a while to thaw. It's going to take a while to freeze. That's...
Too many good docs are getting out of business. Too many OBG...
Yeah, this is the pussy shit.
With women all across this country.
The Prime Minister of India?
The new Prime Minister of India is, no.
That was somebody asking him if he knows who the Prime Minister of India was. Which, you know, why would you need to know that? If you're just the president of the United States. Why would you need to know that? Can I buy a vowel, sir? Could I buy a vowel? I'd like to solve the puzzle.
I oppose breaching those dams. I know the human being and fish can.
Okay, we've heard this one. I really want to hear the wings take dream, man.
2 children, which is the toughest job in America as far as I'm concerned. And you're working hard to put food on your family.
Food on your family. Yeah. We get it. Where's the wings take dream, man? I'm hungry for the wings to take dream. I know I didn't that's not like a meme, is it? Because, yeah, it's always been my favorite. That America is a place where wings take dream. Tell me that's not one of those, like, fucking Mandela effect things where everybody thinks he said that. Oh, yeah. We saw this one. Him getting fucking lost in his own press conference.
Teach a child to read, and he or her will be able to pass.
He or she, sir, would be the grammatically correct way to say that, especially when you're talking about teaching a child to learn how to read. Look at this fat kid. He knows. This kid knows, dude. Look at him. Look at him over there. He's like, that would have got me marked off on my, like, that would have got me marked off on my paper if I said that.
A literacy test. Our nation finds hope where wings take dream.
There it is. Oh, yes. The wings have taken dream. We found it. He's so hyped up when he says it, too. Okay, here we go.
Families is where our nation finds hope, where wings take dream.
Oh, yes. Where wings take dream. Ah, that's a spicy meatball right there. That's a Bushism. You know, there are Bushisms and there are Bushisms. You know what I mean? And that is the most succulent Bushism of all, mon ami. May we? Wings take dream. Wings take dream. Ah, yes. Wings, they take dream.
Wings take dream.
Yes, wings take dream. Dude, this was one of the best moments it's a terrible moment in the Bush presidency because he's standing next to the appointed puppet president of Iraq here. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the little United States puppet president / dictator that was installed after Saddam Hussein, and a journalist and like an Iraqi national and journalist. Iraqis were not like, they were selling this whole narrative of like, oh, we've brought freedom to Iraq, but really like they were just slaughtering, like not only the American forces there were slaughtering people, but like different factions that were held in check by Saddam Hussein were slaughtering people in the streets. So, like he was given this obviously scripted State Department-esque kind of press conference on what was becoming a bigger tragedy by the second in Iraq, standing next to a puffed up puppet dictator that we had put in place to look after American interests. And a journalist decided, I'm going to hit this motherfucker with my shoe, which I remember reading at the time. I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently like the bottoms of your feet and your shoe, like the soles of your shoes, like you don't put that on anybody. Like that's a bad thing. Like that's the dirt of the road and shit. Like obviously you'd be pissed if somebody wiped a shoe on you, but apparently it's an extra dodextra insult in some Muslim countries. Like you wipe your fucking foot on me, you put the dirtiest thing you have on you is your shoe, because you're walking through all the fucking dog shit with it. And so he's like, I'm going to hit this motherfucker with my shoe. And dude, I swear to God, Bush turned into Neo from the fucking Matrix, bro. If you've never seen this, be amazed.
Dream. And I know the speculation.
Not one, but two. Not one, but two. He straight up neo-dodged one. And then, dude, let's watch that in slow-mo. I got to see that. I mean, I've seen this a million times before, and every time I watch it, it's more and more shocking to me. Let's see here. Can I playback speed? Yeah, let's do it like half speed. I just want to see this dodge here. Because, man, he did not have much time to react to this. I think I would have caught the shoe in the face. Look at, dude, bobbing and weaving. He was ready to block the second one. Unbelievable. Dude, Joe Biden definitely would have ate the shoe. I don't know. Trump's got a self-preservation instinct. You remember that, like, somebody tried to rush the stage, how quickly he, like, ducked down and went into the arms of the Secret Service and shit? Like, that motherfucker he skedaddled the moment that there was trouble, you know? You think Trump would eat the shoe? Well, I don't know. Maybe. You're probably right. But yeah, no, Biden would eat the shoe. Biden falls off his fucking bike when it's not even moving, you know? So I know Biden would eat the shoe for sure.
And I know the speculation, but I'm the decider, and I decide what is best.
This was a big meme too. When he called himself the decider, I remember that like every liberal news outlet started using it facetiously. Like Jon Stewart especially was like, oh, look, everybody, it's the decider again. Yeah. So they would call him the decider. This was a meme from the Bush presidency. So for sure.
And I know the speculation, but I'm the decider, and I decide what is best, and what's best is for Don Rumsfeld to remain as the Secretary of Defense.
I hear that.
Don Rumsfeld, by the way, was one of the most corrupt people to ever serve in American government. What do they call it? I'm trying to remember the name of the guru, right-wing fucking conservative guru guy that he was a follower of. But he served under President Nixon as well, if I'm not mistaken. Or yeah, was it Nixon and Reagan? He's just a long time behind the scenes fucking creep that was a huge architect of our current forever war mentality. Don Rumsfeld, piece of shit.
There's rumors on the internets.
Yeah. We saw that shit.
And one of the things that I've used on the Google is to pull up maps. There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in
Yeah, we heard this one.
on you again.
Oh, God. Dad, you're embarrassing me. God. Could you stop, Dad? You're fucking embarrassing me. George W. Bush, international man of the people. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that dude was president for 8 fucking years, y'all. Eight long and lonely fucking years. He's his administration and basically the architect of the modern age when it comes to our economy, the conservative direction, the slow shifting of the Overton window to the right. This guy's fucking, he was it. Bush over Brandon 100%. Oh my God, dude. Cringe. You call him Brandon. I'm so sick of that fucking meme. Can we have it go away? Thanks. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there is. You may not have been here, but to watch it, but there was a fucking There was a fucking, we've been spending the last hour or so showing you how incoherent this fuck was. The whole Brandon thing started because people wanted to chant fuck Joe Biden, but all the, you know what I mean? So they found a chant that sounds like fuck Joe Biden when a big audience of people does it, and it's let's go Brandon. And so they started calling Biden Brandon. I don't fucking know, man. That's what I think anyway. It's crazy how Bernie barely has any gaffes, even though he's older than Trump, Bush, and Biden. Oh, yeah. It just goes to show you that there's a huge gulf in competency there. You know, Bernie, I'm not a huge fan of Bernie's, him having bent the fucking knee to the DNC establishment 2 times in a row, much to the chagrin of the people that supported him. He's not exactly my hero for facilitating the current administration, you know what I mean? And the just absolutely fucking rampaging loss of Hillary Clinton to Trump, you know. But yeah, say what you want about him. He's about at the competence level that I would expect for a chief executive. Which, you know, there should be a whole fucking round of cognitive tests, language assessments. Like this is like the president of the United States is, among other things, the chief diplomat of the United States. He's our representative to the world. So I don't think it's out of fucking order to make sure that person has a certain fucking eloquence that can be understood. You know? Whole fucking linguistics test, and if you fail it, man. You don't get to be president. Sorry. You don't even get to run. If you want to run for president, I think there should be a fucking standardized linguistics exam that's given to every fucking yokel that wants to run. And the ones that fail, sorry, man. You know, you're applying to be the chief diplomat of the United States of America. You can't come at us with a 3rd grade fucking vocabulary, okay? You're going to have to read some books. Expand your horizon. They'd pay to pass. Well, you're absolutely right. Or it would just be a farcical thing. Just another non-barrier that's set up to provide, like, legitimacy. An air of legitimacy where there is none. Oh, look, everybody said George W. Bush was stupid, but he passed the standardized literacy test, didn't he? It's like, no, he didn't. Yes, you're correct. And as of living in Cali for the last 2 years, I think that there should be a mandatory driving test every 3 years. I mean, I've lived in California. I've lived in Arizona. I've lived in Texas. I've lived in Louisiana, and spent enough time in fucking Ohio that I got, I wouldn't say that I lived there, but I stayed a long time in Ohio. I've also lived in Washington State. Forgot Washington State. Jesus. I've lived a little bit of everywhere. And let me tell you what follows you from every place you go to every place you arrive at. Shit fucking drivers and shitty roads. I'm just telling you, man. Recently moved to Tempe, Arizona. Love it here. Hey, man, I actually really liked that area of the world. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like it politically, but living there, it was not bad. You know what I mean? It was a pretty cool place to live. So yeah, that area is not bad. I lived in Tempe for a little while. When I was in Arizona, I moved around a lot because I was a kid. You know what I mean? I was kind of jumping in on people's leases, couch surfing, I guess, as they say, paying my part of the rent, but just like jumping on, unbeknownst to landlords, people's leases and shit, was lease hopping. And, getting subletted or whatever, subletting a room. I think that's what they call it. But yeah, I liked it there, man. Aside from the hot weather, but I got to tell you, man, Arizona's got a big ass fucking nuclear plant. So, you know, it's cranking out plenty of power to run all those fucking ACs and shit. I don't think they got a problem. Almost got hit by a car that sped through a red light a few years back. Yep. Yeah, no, I liked that area of the world. The first place I lived I lived in Phoenix proper when I first moved down there for just a few weeks. And then me and my friend Rodney, hey, if you're an avid Highdeology watcher, you got to at least hear Rodney for an episode. But yeah, me and my friend Rodney, we moved to Chandler, Arizona. Then I moved to Tempe, and then briefly to Mesa. Right before I left, I was living in an apartment in Mesa. So that's everywhere. That's all of the little fucking surrounding cities of Phoenix except for Scottsdale, which is, at least back when I was there, it was the Richie bitch area of town. Like the literal, the cops in Scottsdale, I remember used to have like luxury SUVs and fucking Corvettes. I think it was Corvettes. They had some kind of fucking sporty ass cars. I'll tell you that. Expensive ass shit to show off how fucking rich everybody that lives there. It's got a bunch of golf courses. There's like an internet. It's like an LPGA or a PGA course or whatever the fuck. I think in Scottsdale. Yeah, police issue. The cops would roll up and let me see if I can find a picture of this shit, because I've told people this and they don't believe me. Chandler police cars. Let's see just like what kind of cars they're driving now. Yeah, see, it looks like they've moved to the more standard, like whatever the fuck that is. But I shit you not, man. They had some sporty ass fucking Mustang or some shit that they would drive up and down, and these really like souped up, expensive looking SUVs. You just pull through there, and they were just driving the money. But yeah, these more like recent pictures that I'm seeing look like they've moved to a more, what I would consider to be like a standard big city cop car. Interesting though. Is it just me, or have you not streamed in a while? I streamed just a few days ago. But yeah, I took a little break. I moved from New York to the Bay Area, and hands down the worst part of being here is the tech bros. They're absolutely insufferable. Well, unless you're in a business that makes you have to fucking hobnob with them, how are you running into tech bros, you know? If you do, then, you know, I feel for you, because you're right. How's Dynor? Dynor got a haircut today. He's doing great. He's cute. Too cute to poot. You know Dynor. You know how it is. I work in the fine dining business, so I'm dealing with them daily. Oh, God. Oh, God. I bet baristas have to deal with tech bros all the time in Palo Alto. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, those are like the worst of the tech bros, too. Like the worst, the tech bro worst of the worst. Oh, man. What a day it's been. I'm exhausted. Dude, those Bushisms took it right out of me, man. Threw me kicking and screaming right into the early 2000s, man. I thought I'd escaped those. But there I was again. Where wings take dream, man. So, yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night for now. It's been fun. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll see you next time.